Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I want to talk about a controversial issue and has been brought up recently. I saw it on ESPN believe it was on Pardon the Interruption, and they were talking and discussing about having no black managers in Major League Baseball, and that of all the teams that there is not one black manager. The thing about this is, I believe you have assistant coaches in Major League Baseball, and that are black, if I'm not mistaken. There have been black managers previously in Major League Baseball. They're trying to slant this on TV where there's some kind of discrimination going on, and that there might be some animosity toward blacks or something, and that's the reason for this. What people have to understand is that it's possible that maybe in this particular instance, as far as no black managers in MLB, that there was simply, maybe they just didn't meet the credentials or criteria that the team was looking for. People have to remember that in the NBA and in pro basketball, that you have a strong preponderance of black athletes, of black basketball players, and in major sports, in Major League Baseball, you have them. I mean, I know hockey might not have many, but I do know baseball has the fair share percentage-wise. In the NFL, aka the National Football League, you have a very strong percentage there as well. I don't know if we can definitely say that there is prejudice that exists in Major League Baseball because of this. Now, if it was a situation where you had very few Major League Baseball players that were black, or there were no assistant coaches that were black, or if you never had any Major League Baseball black managers, then I think you could have more of an argument as far as this goes. I think a lot of times people will just maybe create stories just to draw some controversy and just to have something to fill in the void, so to speak. So something can be spoken about on sports shows, so there can be a topic of discussion and debate. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist at all, prejudice in Major League Baseball, but I don't think that the simple reason that if there's no black managers in Major League Baseball, I don't think that's enough to say that that there is prejudice that exists toward blacks in MLB. That is just my own wholehearted opinion on the matter. But the thing now is the fact that it's being discussed. You probably will have some MLB black managers be coming in sometime in the next year or so, I believe, because of this discussion. And I think when I look at things like this, it just seems to me that it's not even. You have like 30 or 31 teams, I believe, in Major League Baseball. It's not like there's 100 or more. They just may have had people that were more qualified for the position. I don't think it necessarily states that there's discrimination just because there's no black managers in MLB. And we have in sports, just in general, there's a very strong percentage of the black athletes. And what would they say in Major League Baseball? Let's say hypothetically that there were no white managers. What would happen then? Would there be an outcry saying that, oh, there's no white managers, what are we going to do? There's racial discrimination. What would happen in that instance? I mean, Major League Baseball has a strong percentage of minority athletes that are playing, whether it's black, Hispanic, the Latino, or what have you. So what people have to remember is that what are you going to say in the NFL? Or I should say maybe the NBA, the National Basketball Association, because it's predominantly black or white people going to say, well, there's discrimination against whites, and that's why there's so much more percentage of black athletes in the NBA as opposed to white people. Though there just were more people that were black that were more qualified, that they were better athletes, and that's all it is. I think sometimes people want to look too deep into something. Don't get me wrong, you don't want to do the opposite or the antithesis of this and look at things superficially and just glance at these things. Yes, I believe prejudice exists everywhere in life on some level. But the reason for having no MLB managers, I don't think that's the reason. That is just what I believe. And we have to remember that in all sports, you may have this on some level, but I don't think Major League Baseball would deliberately or blatantly do something to cause to cause this topic of discussion. It's just the way I think it worked out, because you just had, based on what was needed at that time for all these managerial positions in Major League Baseball, whoever was out there, what I think happened was, honestly, that they just, out of all the candidates, they did not have whether there were blacks or not in that discussion for being a potential hire or what have you. They were not maybe as qualified, or you just might not have had that many black people apply for these positions. Or that is another thing what needs to be looked at. How many potential managers for all these MLB teams in the last year or two, how many of the candidates, how many of them were actually black? I think that would be an interesting question answer, and I honestly don't have the answer to that. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment for me sharing my thoughts on having no black managers in MLB or Major League Baseball. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.